That's why I developed plans for containing any or all members of the JLA, should the need ever arise.
Today, you'll uncover the darkest and most ingenious secrets of Batman. This is the story of Batman's contingency plans. Let's start with one of DC's most eccentric characters. Plastic Man Patrick O'Brien, created in 1941, was a pioneer in bringing humor to comics, something we now associate with figures like Deadpool. But don't underestimate his flamboyant appearance and laid-back personality. He's one of the most skilled heroes in the Justice League, thanks to his incredible elasticity, which allows him to control every molecule of his body and take on any form. In the comic Dark Knight's Metal, he uses this ability to transform into a true weapon of war, proving just how dangerous he can be. Aware of this, Batman always prepared, developing a contingency plan to defeat him if necessary, using liquid nitrogen to freeze and shatter him into pieces, as shown in Justice League Tower of Babel. In the darker version of the multiverse, the feared Batman Who Laughs took things even further, stretching Plastic Man to his breaking point, showing that even the funniest heroes can meet terrifying fate.
Freezing him with liquid nitrogen or some other agent is the best emergency response I've been able to identify.
Now, let's talk about Martian Manhunter, one of the most important characters from the animated Justice League series. Also known as John Johns, he's one of the team's smartest and most powerful members, with incredible abilities such as shape-shifting, invisibility, super regeneration, telepathy, and immunity to nearly all earthly toxins and diseases. With these powers, he can be a tremendous asset to his allies or a devastating threat to those who stand against him. Knowing this, Batman devised a plan to contain him by exploiting his species' greatest weakness. His strategy involves covering Martian Manhunter's body with napalm, causing controlled burns that would induce incapacitating pain without killing him. However, the Batman Who Laughs took this to another level, using even more brutal methods. In a chilling scene, Martian Manhunter is shown torn apart, with his remains scattered across a wall. It's unclear exactly how this was achieved, but it's speculated that he used napalm or advanced technology to destroy John's shape-shifting ability, completely annihilating him, a grim reminder that even the most powerful heroes can fall. Cyborg has earned his place as a recurring member of the Justice League. His tragic origin, marked by the replacement of much of his body with robotic implants, combined with his charisma, has made him one of the most beloved heroes. With incredible abilities such as super strength, super speed, an embedded arsenal, the capacity to create tools, and the power to hack electronic systems, Cyborg is a true technological powerhouse. However, not even his impressive capabilities were enough to outsmart Batman. In their very first week of meeting, the Dark Knight hacked into Cyborg's system and installed a virus to disable his functions, as shown in the Injustice comic series. Additionally, in the New 52 saga, Batman created a suit equipped with an electromagnetic pulse capable of completely shutting down Cyborg's systems and leaving him vulnerable. This serves as yet another testament to how, even for such powerful heroes, no one is beyond the reach of Batman's relentless planning. Green Lantern is an extraordinarily powerful hero, thanks to his power ring, which grants him nearly limitless abilities. While each ring bearer can use it uniquely, depending on their imagination and willpower, the classic green version relies entirely on the user's inner strength. Even after decades of comics, the true potential of the ring still feels largely untapped. Among its most notable powers are the ability to fly, create force fields, traverse hyperspace at astonishing speeds, and materialize constructs based on the user's willpower, ranging from solid structures to complex weapons. The legacy of the Green Lantern title has passed through many hands, starting with Alan Scott and including fan favorites like Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing. Odd weaknesses, like a vulnerability to wood or the color yellow, have given the hero some embarrassing moments. In All-Star Batman and Robin #9, Green Lantern was defeated by the dynamic duo in a room entirely painted yellow, with both Batman and Robin also covered in the color. Fortunately, these limitations have been abandoned in modern stories. Today, Batman's contingency plans for Green Lantern are far more sophisticated. One strategy involves removing the ring while the lantern is asleep and inducing hypnotic blindness, rendering them unable to create constructs. Another option is using Sinestro's yellow ring to neutralize the lantern's powers. These approaches allow Batman to contain a rogue lantern without compromising the ring's energy source, ensuring that other lanterns across the universe remain active and protected.
Must test out this theory on Guy Gardner.
Aquaman is widely recognized for his epic tales involving the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. With powers like super strength, super speed, the ability to breathe underwater, and total control over marine life, he stands out as a key member of the Justice League. However, despite his strength and influence, Aquaman has a significant weakness that enemies can exploit: dehydration. As expected, Batman has found ways to use this vulnerability against him. In the iconic Tower of Babel storyline, the Dark Knight developed a modified version of Scarecrow's fear toxin, designed to induce hydrophobia in Aquaman, a crippling fear of water. This would weaken him to a potentially fatal degree. However, recognizing the unethical nature of this strategy, Batman later revised his plan. He replaced the gas with a device that fires magnesium carbonate, a substance that absorbs moisture from its surroundings. While this method still exploits Aquaman's weakness to dehydration, it spares him the psychological trauma of fearing the very element that defines his power. Wonder Woman is one of the most iconic superheroes in comic book history. As a central figure in the Justice League, Diana, the Princess of the Amazons, has become immensely popular and is considered one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe, capable of standing toe-to-toe with Superman. Her lack of a kryptonite-like weakness makes her even more formidable. Originally, her backstory was quite different. Created from clay and blessed by the Greek gods, Diana was granted superhuman abilities such as strength, wisdom, speed, and longevity. In modern versions, her origin has been reimagined, portraying her as the biological daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta, the Queen of the Amazons. Batman's plan to defeat Diana is more psychological and strategic than physical. In Tower of Babel, the Dark Knight traps her in a simulation where she is forced to battle enemies endlessly, exploiting her indomitable determination until it leads to her total exhaustion. Additionally, in extreme situations, Superman could serve as a backup to confront her, being one of the few capable of matching her in strength and speed. Finally, specialized toxins or poisons could weaken her, making her more vulnerable and easier to contain, proving that even a warrior goddess isn't exempt from Batman's meticulous preparations.
If she could be convinced that she is fighting an equal, she could then theoretically be trapped in an unending cycle of combat against a phantom opponent. Reality technology.
Green Arrow, while one of the more human members of the Justice League, boasts impeccable aim, impressive agility, and extraordinary skill with his bow and arrow. On top of that, he demonstrates abilities as a swordsman and martial artist, making him a formidable defender of Earth. Ironically, despite his skill and reputation, Green Arrow didn't seem to pose much of a threat to Batman. In the Deceased comic series, after Bruce Wayne is killed by zombie versions of his allies, his son Damian assumes the mantle of Batman and discovers his father's contingency files. To everyone's surprise, there was no plan in place to counter Green Arrow. Apparently, Batman believed that if Oliver Queen ever became a threat, he could simply take him down in hand-to-hand combat. Unsurprisingly, Green Arrow wasn't too happy about this lack of consideration. The Flash is one of DC's most beloved heroes, with his mantle taken up by various characters over the years, such as Jay Garrick and Wally West. However, Barry Allen remains the most famous and celebrated alter ego, starring in iconic arcs like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Flashpoint. Flash's main ability is his extreme speed, so incredible that it allows him to travel through time, making him a formidable adversary and one of the most powerful members of the Justice League. However, even the Scarlet Speedster isn't immune to Batman's planning. In the Tower of Babel storyline, the Dark Knight devised a solution called the vibrating bullet. Knowing that Flash would instinctively vibrate his molecules to let the projectile harmlessly pass through his body, Batman designed a special bullet that would attach itself to the hero, striking the base of Flash's neck. It would cause him to experience everything at the speed of light, overwhelming, paralyzing, and incapacitating him. Later, Batman refined his tactics by creating a lightning rod device that, rather than torturing Flash, would reduce his super speed, making him easier to contain, a more practical and compassionate approach. But if necessary, the Dark Knight always has more ruthless alternatives at the ready. And of course, when it comes to Superman, we couldn't leave out Batman's plan to contain one of the greatest heroes, and also one of the greatest threats, in the DC universe. Introduced in 1938, Superman was named Clark Kent by his adoptive parents and quickly became the archetype of a superhero, with powers and values that continue to inspire to this day. However, the same power that makes him a symbol of hope could turn him into the most devastating villain in comics. With near-infinite strength, super speed, heat vision, freezing breath, and the resilience worthy of the title Man of Steel, you could stop him if he were to become a threat. Fortunately, his weakness, green kryptonite, gave Batman the opportunity to develop various weapons to face him. In Injustice and other storylines, Superman himself entrusted Batman with a sample of kryptonite, just in case he ever lost control. Additionally, the Dark Knight has planned the use of red solar radiation to weaken him. However, Batman understands that the greatest weapon against Superman is his kindness and loyalty. In moments of turmoil, appealing to Clark's morality and humanity may be the ultimate trump card to neutralize Earth's most powerful hero.
If the League ever did go over to the wrong side, I want there to be somebody I can trust to keep the planet safe. Even from me.
And how could we not mention Batman himself? The master planner and undoubtedly one of the most paranoid heroes in comics, the Dark Knight hasn't just developed strategies to contain his most powerful allies, he's also created a plan for the greatest threat within the Justice League.
I do have a plan. It's called the Justice League.
With unparalleled intellect, unmatched martial skills, and a vast arsenal of resources, Batman is both Earth's greatest hope and a potential villain. His ability to defeat any adversary, even without cosmic powers like Green Lantern's or Superman's strength, was made clear in the Batman Who Laughs series, where he eliminated his teammates in brutal and ingenious ways. Fully aware of his dark potential, Batman has turned the Justice League itself into a contingency plan against him. Furthermore, his protégés like Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin aren't just allies in crime fighting, they're also a containment force, trained to stop him if he ever loses his sanity. This self-awareness has been explored in stories like The Killing Joke, where Batman is portrayed as a mirror to the Joker. While one chose chaos, the other chose vengeance and a promise of justice. But could Batman one day succumb to the same madness? Knowing this possibility is real, he helped create the League and trained his companions to prevent him from destroying the world he swore to protect. So, what do you think? Would Batman's contingency plans actually work, or are they just the product of his legendary paranoia? Let me know in the comments which plan you think is the most clever or downright terrifying. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more deep dives into the dark and brilliant mind of the Dark Knight. Until next time, stay vigilant.
The members of the Justice League are among the most powerful and potentially dangerous people on the planet.
You think one of us would go over to the other side?
Or succumb to mind control. Yes, it's possible. That's why I developed plans for containing any or all members of the JLA, should the need ever arise.
None of us would ever do that to you.
Then you're damn fools.